Hi, and welcome back to another edition of the D&E Podcast. This is Matt Saintsing. Today, we're bringing you inside a conversation between two Army veterans who served in the Iraq War. Kim Hubers was DAV's 2023 Disabled American Veteran of the Year, and she sits down with Melissa Stockwell. Melissa was a transportation officer in 2004 when her vehicle was struck by an improvised explosive device. That attack resulted in her left leg being amputated above the knee. Melissa goes all into her injury, recovery, her athletics, and being a business owner in the field of prosthetics. She is mighty impressive, and did I mention that she's a Paralympian? Oh yeah, she's one of those too. Anyway, let's clear the way to hear from Kim and Melissa.
Hi, I'm Kim Hubers, and I'm a member of DAV Chapter 1 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm joined by fellow Iraq War Army veteran Melissa Stockwell today. In 2004, Melissa lost her left leg while serving in Iraq. She went on to become a Paralympian, triathlete, author, motivational speaker, and maybe most important, mother. And Melissa, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you. I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
I have a few questions for you. First one is, could you briefly describe to me your military service and how you were injured?
So I did ROTC in college. So I was commissioned as an Army officer in 2003. And then I was sent over to Iraq as a transportation officer in early 2004. And on a routine convoy through central Baghdad, about 3 weeks after I was there in Iraq, my vehicle was struck by a roadside bomb, which ultimately resulted in the loss of my left leg above the knee. But I feel very fortunate. It could have been a lot worse. And thankfully, the other soldiers in my vehicle were not injured. So I went from the side of Iraq, really, kind of rushed into a life-saving surgery, kind of right in central Baghdad, and then went on to do my recovery at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, which was a pretty incredible place to kind of relearn how to live my life with one leg.
Wow, that's incredible. How did your service and your injury shape your life?
My injury has shaped my life more than I ever could have imagined. I don't think anyone ever expects. Like, I didn't go to Iraq being like, I'm going to lose a leg, right? So it's kind of, you never expect it. But when it happens, you really can't change it. I mean, my leg's not going to grow back. I couldn't stop the fact that a roadside bomb hit my vehicle. But at Walter Reed, I was surrounded. So that's where all the wounded soldiers went at the time from Iraq and Afghanistan. And I was surrounded by soldiers missing 2 limbs, 3 limbs. They had lost eyesight. They had traumatic brain injuries. So anytime that I felt bad about myself or my injury, I mean, I really just had to look around and realize how lucky that I was. So that put everything in perspective. And it was more like, okay, let's accept this. Let's move on. Let's see what my life can be. Like, 1 leg or 2 doesn't matter. I can still get out there and dream big. And next week will be 20 years since I lost my leg, which is pretty crazy. And I had done more in my life with 1 leg, than I ever would have done with 2. So it's been pretty great, honestly.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And this month marks the 20 years, right? So what does this anniversary mean to you? Does it have some special meaning?
It does. So April 13th, 2004 is the day that I lost my leg. And every year on April 13th, we have a party and we celebrate. And we celebrate, like, my life, yes, but like everyone's life. And it's really this day just to celebrate like what we have in life. Because so often we get so like caught up in the negativity of things and what went wrong instead of what went right. So it's this day just to truly celebrate, being alive. So the 20th anniversary is going to be pretty big. It's going to be in Colorado Springs. We have a lot of family and friends that are flying in for it. It's going to be just a day to celebrate life and just to enjoy being with each other, really.
That's incredible. To have that amount of support too.
It's awesome. I'm very fortunate, yes.
I love it. So how have athletics impacted your physical and mental health over the years?
So I think I got my life back after losing my leg through athletics. So I think I would lay in my hospital bed and wonder, you wonder what your life will be like. Like, well, am I going to walk again? Will I ever run again? Like, can I be an athlete? And eventually I got a prosthetic leg. I walked. And then it was just this idea of, what can I still do? And at Walter Reed, they had all these opportunities for us. I took them all as they came up and realized that I could still ski. I could still ride a bike. I could still do all these things. And it showed me, truly how much ability was in a disability. So I like to say that athletics showed me what I could still do, what was still possible, and decided to kind of take that to the next level and try to compete, at the elite level. And it's been a great ride.
Absolutely, you took it to next level. As you were heading where shortly?
Yes, I'm going. So my fourth Paralympic Games, I just qualified for about a month ago. It's very exciting. So I'll be competing in Paris later this summer in the sport of triathlon. So I competed in 2008 in the sport of swimming, 2016 and 2021 in triathlon. And then I'm going to qualified for Paris. I'm going to give Paris a go on September 1st.
That is so exciting. I wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
You need the luck. You obviously have it and you have the skill too, but that is absolutely amazing.
I'm very excited. Yes.
And you keep growing too as you go. You know,
you do.
This,
Yeah.
And now you have this whole triathlon and it's absolutely inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can you tell me a little bit about your prosthetics business? Because that's a whole other part of
Yes. Yeah. So my husband and I met in the field of prosthetics. So basically, prosthetics is where you make artificial limbs for people, and didn't even know that existed till I needed a leg of my own. But we met when we were both kind of going through school and residency for prosthetics, got married, moved out to Colorado, ultimately so I could train at the Olympic Training Center for triathlon and for the Paralympics. But fell in love with Colorado, made it a permanent home, and we opened our own prosthetic and orthotic company in Colorado Springs. And it's gone so well. We've helped hundreds of patients, resume their daily life. Just being able to the reward of literally getting someone back up on their feet is pretty awesome.
It has to be, it's full circle.
Very much.
You went through it. Yeah. And the fact that you're there and you're a part of it has to mean so much.
It is. And it's almost, a patient comes in, a new amputee. This happened just about a month ago. A brand new amputee comes in. They don't know what, and I'm able to walk in, granted it's been many years, but to be able to walk in with my prosthetic and they think, oh my gosh, you have how are you doing that? I'm like, you're going to get there too. And we have to just take it day by day and see how it goes. And so it's just really great to show these patients, firsthand, what they can still do.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. How did your military service prepare you to be a business owner, and how does that part of your life feel? You kind of answered that, how that fulfills you, but
I think military service sets you up for success in a lot of ways. So you learn to be part of something bigger than yourself. You have these values, teamwork, integrity. You have a mission and you want to complete it and you have to do it together. It's little things like being on time or making my bed every morning, which starts my day out right. It's the little things like that. But I think, not only as a business owner, but as an elite athlete, honestly, as a mother as well, I think you have these values that just are ingrained in you and they just help you succeed in life.
What role has mentorship played for you, either as a mentor or as a mentee? What role has that played and what impact has that had in your life?
Oh, on both sides. So when I was in my hospital bed, I literally Googled women who have lost their leg above the knee. I had no idea, anyone. And these two women came up and they were athletes, and this one was skiing down a mountain. This other one was doing this Ironman triathlon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if they can do that, can I do that too? And I eventually have met both of them, and it's almost like you have those role models that you oh my, if they can do that, well, I'm going to do that too. So now, again, taking it full circle and being able to, cross the finish line with a little 8-year-old girl that's missing a leg like I am and never thought she could do a triathlon. And we did the whole thing together and crossed that finish line. So you kind of, you want to give back, and in hopes that what happened with me 20 years ago, I'll maybe give that hope to somebody else.
And you do it at your business, you inspire them. That's what you do, is inspire people.
Yeah. I think, we all we live our lives the way that we want to live them. And I'm what you do, I'm sure, we're all inspired by each other. It's just a matter of who you inspire and when, and you don't even know you're doing it half the time, but you are. So it's just a matter of realizing it or not and just living the life.
Yeah. Being authentic.
Right. Exactly.
You are.
Yes.
Living your life, who you are. So when you served in Iraq, you were injured before women could officially serve in combat roles. And what do you want people to know about what it means to be a woman in uniform, or the contributions that women make to the military?
Women make just as many contributions as men make. We wear the same uniform. Sure, I wasn't in combat, but here I am, lost my leg to a roadside bomb. I wasn't, I was in a service support branch, but I was still out there and the threat was still there. And it happened to plenty of women and men. So I think it's realizing that. At the hospital at Walter Reed, I was told after I'd been there for maybe a month, and someone's like, do you know that you were the first female to lose a limb? And I looked around and I I had no idea. I just it didn't matter because we were all there in the same uniform. We had all gone through these traumatic instances, and gender didn't matter. It just mattered that we were there for the same reason, for the same purpose, to represent and defend our country. And we did that. And we contribute just as much as men do.
We're different, but also the same.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Ways.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So here's one that I'm super interested in, because you have gone through so many transitions in your life, so many transitions, so many things, so many parts and pieces. What was the hardest transition for your life, and how did you get through it?
There's physical and mental challenges, right? So physically, obviously losing a leg and trying to figure out how to my new normal was with a prosthetic and with one leg and trying to navigate that. Another obstacle that I'm sure many others have gone through is went through a divorce, and that's in a whole different way. But the challenge of that is, regardless of the reason, is just extremely difficult. So it's hard to be a mom. Just to figure out if am I raising my kids right? How am I raising them? So that's the third challenge.
Okay, last question I have for you is, why do you continue to share your story, and what do you hope that people get from it?
I enjoy speaking. I enjoy sharing my story. And I think why I do it is because afterwards, the people I meet will come up to me and say, I've always wanted to do this, and now I'm going to. Or I've wanted to, it's almost like they had this renewed sense of hope for themselves, the audience does, and they walk away. And the hope is that the audience walks away, motivated, inspired, but also kind of looking at their own life and realizing that we all have obstacles. Some are greater than others. It doesn't matter. It's all relative. But that we all have the power to, overcome those obstacles. And so a lot of times we end up even better on the other side. So it's hoping to inspire others. The stories I hear after, the people I meet, I truly enjoy. I enjoy what I do.
Well, you've definitely had lots of things happen, lots of things going, and you are truly an inspiration.
Thank you.
We're so lucky to have you here, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I am very happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, and thanks, Melissa, for sharing your incredible story. If you want to learn a little more about Kim, you can read DAV's newest Women Veterans Report titled Women Veterans, The Journey to Mental Wellness, which you can read at womenveterans.org. As always, I'm Matt Saintsing. Until next time.